We've got head coach Hank Plona. Coach will go ahead and open it up with a statement, and then we'll jump into questions.
Trying to move forward this week and build off of a pretty good win on Saturday. All in all, I thought we played better as a basketball team in both games last week. We knew going into the year that the stretch we just kind of completed on the road was going to be a challenging one. Obviously, it was made a little bit more challenging with some injuries and things like that. But I thought from where we were 9 days ago at Sam Houston, which has probably felt like a little bit of a bottoming out, to right now, I think we're in a better place. Obviously, you always wish you could have closed both games. Hopefully, we learned a little bit. We got to figure out how to keep scoring in the last 5 minutes with leads, which is something we're going to have to keep working on. But very happy to win at Middle. Very happy for the guys. They put a lot of work in last week, and it was good to feel a reward and some positive reinforcement. So try to build on that and get ready for Jack State on Thursday.
Middle jumped out to a quick lead there at the beginning of the game, and WKU was kind of quick to close that gap throughout the rest of the first half. What did you see from your team to be able to do that in a road environment? We've
fallen behind a lot this year. That one, it didn't quite seem. I thought we were playing a lot better than what the score was. It was 4-3, and we fouled the three-point shooter in transition. And a couple other things that happened, like we were getting good shots on the front end. So I didn't think we were out of whack, even though most of the time this has happened. I feel like there's a lack of some hesitancy at the beginning of the half. I didn't think that was the case. And obviously Grant got an and one, Cade made a three, and we were kind of back in business. But the obvious thing is they scored 14 points in the first 4 minutes of the game, and they scored 9 in the last 4 minutes of the game and 9 in the last 15 minutes or so of the half. So obviously our defense caused them some problems, and and we were able to score enough points to kind of get going. So it was good to see that didn't rattle us and that didn't shake us, and obviously playing good and playing better the rest of the first half going into halftime with a 7-point lead gives you a little comfort. I thought at the beginning of the second half we did have a little bit of almost hesitancy, and I didn't think the first 4 or 5 minutes we need to start and finish. We talked about it all week. Start and finish, start and finish, start and finish. And, you got to buckle down at those 2 times. Starts of games, starts of halves, finish of halves, finish of games. We finished the first half great, but we got to start and finish better than we are. So we'll keep focused on that.
Another bright spot in that game was Blaze probably had one of his best games as a Hilltopper in that Middle game, and probably one of his best weeks also against Kennesaw. What have you seen from him in those past 2 games that you're hoping he builds on?
Hoping he continues to rebound the ball like he is. I mean, kind of when he had 8 versus Kennesaw, we said, hey, man, you should be averaging 8 the rest of the year. Like 8 the rest of the year, and then went out and got 14. So he's when he's at his best, the rebounding numbers can really get me. He's confident and physical and all that, and he caused people some problems. So thought he did a couple good catch and finishes. I don't want him to hesitate. Sometimes he catches the ball and he kind of shot fakes and Blaze, shoot it, man, shoot it, get it up there, and if you make it, or we get the offensive rebound. So I thought he did a good job, and we did some aggressive defensive ball screen coverages, and I thought Blaze did a great job on that. He's a very, very smart player. Sometimes, obviously, here in year 6 of his college career, sometimes he struggles physically to move and to get himself in position to where he wants. So I need him to keep taking care of his body, need him to keep using his intelligence, need him to keep being physical, and need him to keep rebounding that ball.
That's what I was wondering about. How much variability is there with Blaze as to how physically able he's ready to go from game to game?
I think there's been that factor over the 2 years for sure. He's had some moments this year, like at his best, he's been better physically this year than he was last year, but then there's still been some spots where it seems like he's struggling out there. But he puts in more time and effort. I wouldn't say he puts in as much time and effort on taking care of his body as you physically can. He's actually just finished up lifting, and he seems pretty good. But obviously today, with all him and obviously Melo's ankle, that's the most minutes Kate Unseld's played, and obviously there's a knee thing with him that's been on and off, and even Terry on, obviously. So we'll probably get a feel for it today. It's good. The long week isn't a bad thing, but obviously with only 1 day rest, it's our first really quick turnaround here we've had in a little while. We've done great with that all year. Atlantis, at UTEP, these quick turnarounds we've been good at. But obviously here, as you get through the season, you want to make sure you're physically ready to go.
Now another one who stood out, Kate Unseld with his 17 points. Can you just kind of talk about his progression that you've seen this season?
Yeah, he's, as he physically, just moving and defending and rebounding has always been kind of the thing that he's got to get right at. I thought he did a good job, not a great job, but a good job on Saturday. But man, we're struggling to score, and his shooting ability is a factor. And obviously there's a care factor. He stuck with it. Kind of when we lost at Sam Houston, and it's one of those things where we reevaluate. All right, let's focus on. I mean, who needs this? Who's dying to help us win? Like and Cade, he just kind of seemed about ready. So I thought he played well at Kennesaw on Wednesday too. I guess 2 for 10 from 3. If that's 5 for 10, you probably win the game. And obviously that's the responsibility of being a shooter. So, he finds ways. He's confident. He's aggressive. He really cares about our team's success now. I mean, he grew up wanting to be out there and diddle and play well. So he's a guy that we've believed in. I've believed in from the very beginning. I'm proud of him that he's stuck through it, even though he maybe didn't get that breakout game quite as soon as we thought maybe he would, but obviously he's stepped up here this past week, and when you have a guy whose intent is what his is, it's a real positive for our team because of his desire to win and his desire to be great here.
A couple of guys I was wondering about. Noah is one. Hasn't played the last couple of games. Wondering what his status is first off.
Noah and I just spoke. I just trying to figure out how to make our team better. He's healthy. We will see. I'd say it's undetermined, but obviously, literally, we were just talking about that, and to me, I think he just needs to continue to make sure he's able and willing to, regardless of what his role is, just be locked in to help us win.
Would he suit up Thursday, or is that?
I don't know yet. Yep.
All right, Cam Hafner's another guy that hasn't played in a couple of games.
Cam's very willing. That's my decision that he hasn't played in the last couple games. Practicing, suiting up. His intent is correct. Obviously, we've made some decisions to go with some other players. And Cam's working very, very hard, and he's an important part of the team. And I'm hoping for his sake, I'm hoping that he gets back to helping us.
Okay, one more, Tegan Moore. What's his status?
Questionable for Thursday. He's in concussion protocol. I don't know what step number, but he was just lifting weights. He's shooting today, I'd say. If he keeps progressing the way he is, I think Thursday's a possibility. I think Saturday's probably a little stronger possibility, but just making sure that, kind of through the steps, obviously you can't do any physical contact when there's any kind of symptoms still. So I think today is non-contact lifting and shooting. I think tomorrow maybe the same, and we'll see where he's at Wednesday.
Speaking of Cade's too, Cade Stinnett is a guy that's picked up some minutes the last couple of games. How much has he helped?
Plays to win. Again, Cade's a good basketball player. Obviously, averaged 16, 17 points at Center College before he got here. But Cade is, when you're trying to short-term and long-term figure out how to get on the winning track, you playing the guys that have an intent to do whatever the team needs for team success in that moment. You start rewarding those things. It's crazy how it spreads. And, man, I thought Cade did a great job at Kennesaw State. Cade's in there because he can help us win the game, And I know he only played 2 or 3 minutes at Middle the other night, but we put him in kind of right before on some defensive possessions right before the media timeouts to get, Cade Unseld had fouls in the first half and some things like that. So we were trying to just be kind of smart about it. And again, Cade is able and willing to do anything to help our team succeed. So I've told him from the beginning that when his number gets called, it's always going to be when we're in a pinch, or always when we're in a tough spot. It ain't going to be garbage time. Like, it's going to be when things are going wrong, and his intent and his care and his desire to win. When other guys maybe, it's very natural and normal, it seems, in this world to let how you individually play scoring-wise affect your overall impact on the game. And great players don't do that. And so you want to, when all of a sudden things start going wrong, you kind of trend towards the guys that just want to win. And that, Cade Unseld, Cade Stinnett, Jack Edelin, Leroy Odiahi, Blaise Keita, that's kind of been, all of those guys were in the program last year. Like, I would just tell you that continuity remains. Look around college basketball. Continuity is a major factor in teams that succeed. And those guys right there, Kate Unseld, Kate Stinnett, Leroy Odiahi, Blaze Kate to Jack Edelin, man, like those are bought-in guys. And I know it's not a lot of point per game returning, but here as we've hit a rough stretch, they're and I'll throw Terrion Murdoch and Tegan Moore in there. I don't mean to leave them out. You know, they're both, that group of 7, I think, has really helped us survive this, so to them, so it can kind of feel like a tidal wave. For me, I mean, unfortunately, trust me, I want to have a year where we go 30-2. That's the plan, to have a year like that. No different than what everybody wants. But the reality is you have these ups and downs, and it is the core that believes in who we are, what our university is, how we run our program. You know, they define our culture. Those guys have all been very impactful in helping us. I mean, I think we're in a better place as a team right now than we've been all year. And that's hard after you lose 4 in a row. I mean, we're in a pretty good place last Monday, Tuesday. I thought we played well at Kennesaw. I wish we closed that game out, but we weren't. We had good days on Thursday and Friday. Like, we went down to Middle with the intent to win and the plan to win, and I thought the guys executed. And that core that's been through at least almost 2 full years has been a super important part of that. And Kate Stinnen is right there at the very top as far as who helps build that culture and who defines that culture.
Coach, you opened conference play with Jack State. I can take them on again this week. What's your plan of attack this time around semifinals?
They've had a very good run at it here. Obviously the kid Mustafa scores a ton of points. We'll have to figure out how to limit that. AC Bryant's been a great shooter. When they've been successful, he makes 5, 6, 7 threes. They play with confidence. They certainly have great role definition. They know who they are. I don't know that I'm going to completely share the full plan of attack, but obviously you learn some things from the first game. I thought in the first game they were able to dictate the pace. They were able to dictate their offense. I thought they got what they were looking for in the first game, and we need to figure out exactly what we can do to make them uncomfortable, to make them hesitate on offense, and hopefully put them on their heels on defense.
I wanted to ask you about Terrion too. I thought this was one of the better games that I've seen him play. Is he in the same kind of boat as Blaze, as that physically sometimes he's more there than other times?
He won't ever say that, but I guess I sometimes take that away. He's got a big brace on his right knee. That's the knee he hurt in November. He's got nothing on his left knee. That's the knee that he just missed 2 years with. So I can't. I've never been through that. So I have to imagine that sometimes it's physical, and I don't know how, as a intelligent young man, which he's as smart as they get, I don't know how you're not just nervous and cautious. So sometimes I just think that this is my conclusion. I'm not saying I know Terrion would never admit to this, but I just think that he really wants to play in February and March, and I think there's been some stretches where Terrion doesn't. I think the thing in Atlanta spooked him a little bit, Now, he's a competitive monster, so I thought versus Missouri State he was great. I thought at Middle he played with the right intent to win. He's going to say that he missed some shots and missed some layups that are driving him crazy right now. And I guess I assume that the physical struggles probably are part of maybe his lack of lift when he's at minute 27, 28, 29. So I assume it. He doesn't let himself think like that. He's going to be an important part of what we do. His poise and his decision-making, and I thought he did a much better job taking care of the ball and finding Kate Unseld, finding Blaze Kate. He had some great assists down the stretch, and he's a very intelligent defender. So, I would think that there's, we got some older guys that have been through some things, and I think that's probably contributes a little bit to our ups and downs more than what we'd imagine. But I think as we enter February, hopefully those, it seemed for the two of them that they're competitive juices got flowing on Saturday, and we just need to, and hopefully they both build, get confidence and build off that, and we can keep it rolling.
She got Melo back for this one too, last game, and you can see the difference he makes in your team.
He's an important part of our team. He I'm not about to sit up here and underestimate. I mean, he's been special from day one. So he does it all. He can play and guard any position. He's our best defensive rebounder for sure. He just kind of adds an athletic dynamic to what we do. Man, those 2 threes he hit were huge. You know, I thought he shot the right shots. He was aggressive, but also was very smart on defense and helping us succeed. So yeah, Melo's a special one, and we need him.
What you got for game home fan coming up? How important is it for your team to string together those games so you guys can make it back for sure?
We're going to try to win on Thursday versus Jacksonville State. I'm done thinking about any big picture, homestand or road trip, or we need this or we need that. We don't do any better when we think like that. So, you know, we'll prepare from now until Thursday to get ready for Jack State. They're one of the best teams in the league. Win or lose, it won't be tragic, and on Friday we'll turn the page and we'll start getting ready for FIU. So I just think I know everybody thinks it's coach speak, but I don't think our team's going to do any better if I stand up there and say this needs to be our record in February, or this needs to be a record in the homestand, or this. We don't seem to do better when we do that. We seem to do better when we focus on every possession, every play, every practice, every day, every game. So we'll try to do our best to stay right there.
And Jack State was another one of the games where you guys started slow. I think they jumped out to the big lead. That was one where you couldn't come back. I mean, I don't know. Is it something that you talk about? Is it bad to talk about it?
We talk about it all the time. Yeah. So maybe it is bad to talk about. Maybe that hurts us, but we talk about it all the time. We are talking start and finish, start and finish, start and finish, start and finish. I don't know. I feel like if we don't talk about it, there's just an elephant in the room, so that doesn't help. We're all aware. So the Jack State, you know, we got to figure that out. We've tried to try some different lineups. We tried to do some different combinations. We tried to. I think we have to defensively, in my opinion, not focus on what they're trying to do. I think when we hesitate and at the very beginning of the game, all right, we're supposed to run this, they're going to run this, we don't do good when we think like that. We do good when, all right, I got to be aggressive, I got to rebound, we got to play with pace, we got to be confident and then once the flow of the game happens, you know, and some things go wrong, you naturally think like that. So we're trying to figure out how we start practice, how we start weight. So maybe we're overcooking it. Maybe your theory is better, but I've never been successful ignoring what are obvious issues. So we talk about it a lot because it's happened more with this team than any team I've been a part of. And I can't sleep at night if we don't talk about it, and then one day our season ends because it just keeps happening. So we're gonna keep working on it. Like I said, the one at Middle on Saturday, I've gotten myself where it gets about 5-0. I try to call timeout to reinforce, but I felt like we were fine on Saturday, and then it turned out that we were. So we'll see. Hopefully we keep on fixing this issue.
Well, it sounds like you need 5 instinct guys out there, not necessarily thinkers, to start the game. You have.
Yeah, we've addressed that. We've thought about that. That's. If you look at the box score, we've tried a lot of different lineups, so we're trying to figure that out. But I would agree with you. Yep.
Hey, yes.